Go towards the deck or the dock and towards the front of the ship. So you can see the original World War II spotlight.
We are in San Pedro, California at the Spirit of 45 event, celebrating the 76th anniversary of the end of World War II.
And if you haven't heard of San Pedro is just a small portion of the Port of Los Angeles, one of the largest industrial ports in the world.
The Spirit of 45 is being held at the tail end of San Pedro, Berth 49, where an original cargo ship from World War II is permanently docked and preserved, the SS Lady Victoria.
As Supreme Commander of Allied Powers, welcome. Your participation today keeps the memory of those who rose to the challenge to answer the call when the world was plunged into chaos. Those harrowing hours in Omaha Beach.
The last communique of World War II is in. The Russian people were told for the first time of Germany's unconditional surrender.
So I didn't know what to expect when I was invited by my friends Scott and Catherine, who run the local visitor center here in San Pedro, simply titled the San Pedro Visitor Center. It's a very quaint and yet incredibly impressive experience.
Well, personally, I've never been on a ship of any kind before, so it's really, really cool to see not only like any ship, but just like a historic ship that has World War II and has a history, and that's really cool for me.
Along with the ship itself,
Which we will be touring later.
are a number of military vehicles that have been beautifully preserved. There aren't as many as I thought there would be, but each one are quite a sight to behold.
So they also have a lot of really cool military reenactors here, which I'm sure will definitely add to the experience and make it that much more interesting and insightful. So I'm really excited.
When we first pulled up and saw a bunch of people in military costumes, we thought the actual military was here,
Yeah.
and that they were patrolling the area or something. I was a little intimidated.
It seems to me that there's no more fitting place to commemorate such an event as on the decks of the World War II victory ship, which helped deliver the vital war materials needed for the service personnel to the front lines of the Pacific. You may not realize this, but in percentage of those who served and those who lost, the United States Merchant Marines suffered the highest casualty rate in the Second World War. Over 9,000 men and women died to deliver the goods.
I didn't even see it. Which one's being shot off? 6 inch.
Attention lane victory, enemy aircraft on starboard side. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole!
We don't want to get too close though, right?
The cannon when we fired it off earlier, that was a blank. So, but normally if it wasn't a blank, live ammo, then then it was shot towards land or something like that. So we fire off the cannons to keep the armory, still going and everything.
This is the pointer's position. Sits here, he turns those two wheels, and he elevates and depresses the barrel of the gun. It took 11 men to operate this gun.
I am the unit leader for this SoCal Women's Army Corps reenacting unit. We portray women in military. We have several different eras and several different units of the branches of the U.S. military.
Are any reenactors actual veterans?
Yes, there's actually quite a few. We do have quite a few reenactors. Some of them are just historians like myself who are interested in history, and there's others who have been in the Navy for 20 years. We have a current service member in the Army right now. I believe there was a few Marine Corps guys walking around. Yeah. And they're fun because they also get to show us the difference from what they do now compared to what it was like back then.
Is a summer Class A uniform. So this was back from the 1940s, which we all know was a more decadent time. So even when it was a warm summer day, you still had to wear a coat and tie, but it was made of lighter material. I'm Robert Fisher. I'm on leave from Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I'm in the engineers. I'm really honored to be part of this event honoring the greatest generation before me. It's a symbol of the merchant marine who served their country well in World War II, who actually suffered the highest per capita casualties of any service.
The day for which the people of the world have prayed is here at last. There's great thankfulness in our hearts, but we also have a mixture of emotions. Joy that our men are freed of constant danger. Hope that those whom we love will soon be home among us. Awe at what man's intelligence can compass. And a realization that intelligence uncontrolled by great spiritual forces can be man's destruction instead of his salvation. Many of us are hoping that the very suffering which women of all nationalities have been through will bring about a greater kinship among them than has ever existed before. The power of women for good should be intensified because they will surely determine to work together in order to ensure that the forces of the world are used for constructive purposes.
All uniformed service members, and salute!
So we ate in the only food truck that they had, which was a southern-style barbecue smokehouse. We spent a lot more money! I spent $22 in total, but it's barbecue steakhouse, and I'm sure it's really good. There are several different combinations that you can have. You can either have a sandwich alone, which is $12. You can have a combo, which is $16, and you can choose either chips and a drink as a side, or one of the sides as a side. And I chose collard greens because you just don't get collard greens very often. And I also chose a drink as well on top of that, which was $2 extra. Got some pretty tender meat.
So I got the sandwich with the tri-tip. So we'll see how that is. We came over here and sat in the shade because there's no like coverings anywhere over there other than like the booths. It's actually really good. I like it. The sauce is really good. It is barbecue. There's a little something extra. Why does it say the black barrel?
Oh.
Is it a joke? No, I don't know.
Maybe they want people to associate the Lane Victory with the Black Pearl.
I guess that's cool.
I mean,
Everyone likes Pirates of the Caribbean.
she's got a lot of hidden secrets.
Man has awakened. The soul of man has gone forth. Grant us the wisdom and the vision to comprehend the greatness of man's spirit that suffers and endures so hugely for a goal beyond his own brief span.
The Lane Victory was launched on May 31st, 1945, and she was a cargo run to places in the Pacific, specifically Guam, Hawaii, Cayman, and then in Europe under the Marshall Law. She was one of the Victory Class ships importantly on D-Day, but because Germany surrendered halfway through, she headed back to Peninsula. After World War II, she was laid up in Suisun Bay near San Francisco for 2 years before being drafted into the Korean War, during which time she saved 3,800 Korean and UN refugees from Wonsan province in South Korea. This was all during the Battle of Choisin, and during the voyage, a baby was born.
After Vietnam, she was laid up again in Suisun for 17 years.
total of 3 years and thousands of volunteer veterans to restore this ship back to her original glory, and the general public was able to take day cruises to Catalina aboard her from 1992 to about 2013 when engine trouble was found aboard, and she hasn't sailed since. But further restoration has been going on for the past few years, and she should be able to sail again next year.
So Korean War, that's Vietnam. I don't know what the other one said. There's just Korean War, Vietnam. They're all Vietnam except for one of theirs from Korean War. Very cool.
It was getting late, so we hustled to film the rest of our ship tour when we ran into one of the many volunteers aboard named Kenneth.
Kenneth from SS Lake Victory. Kenneth from SS Lake Victory. I am Kenneth.
Who showed us around the ship in ways that we couldn't do ourselves.
Well, thank you for visiting us to if you guys could come down here. The ship is the best. It is. Most people don't know about this ship, but because they hear about the Iowa, the Lake Victory is so awesome. Most people don't know this ship was named after a slave. So with the name SS Lake Victory, so that name, he was named after a slave. So most people don't know that. They just think like that this ship was named after maybe someone, a captain or sergeant.
Like the many Hollywood movies and TV shows that have been filmed aboard, taking advantage of her authentic historical structure and background. Movies and TV shows you may have heard of, like James Cameron's 1997 hit Titanic, Gone in 60 Seconds, Life of Pi, Pearl Harbor, G.I. Jane, The Naked Gun 2.5, Flags of Our Fathers, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Supergirl, The X-Files, MacGyver, NCIS Los Angeles, Murder, She Wrote, Unsolved Mysteries, King of the Hill, and many, many more than what is listed here.
We filmed several, like maybe 3 or 4 movies on here, like every year. So the latest movie was called Megalodon. It's about a movie of a giant shark. Our next movie is supposed to be Titanic 6, which I'm honored. Don't know if they're going to film the whole movie here, but just glimpse or pieces of it, or could be most of the movie here.
The ship features 2 main exhibit spaces in the original cargo holds, including the engine room, as well as the officer quarters above deck. One thing Kenneth continued to point out again and again was how just about every original electrical and mechanical mechanism still worked, and worked very well.
This is actually still live.
Oh, wow.
It's still live, exactly. It still works, and everything on this ship works.
So it's safe, it's just...
It's safe. Because the typewriter is still old, and it still works right here on the ship. Everything on this ship still works just in contact. If I turn on all the features and everything still works on this ship.
And you can still use it to get radio frequency.
And still use radio frequency. But this shirt actually works right here. He's been running it all day long. We keep this shirt going so the engine doesn't just sit here, because it's been sitting here for 8 or 9 years because it launched out to Catalina Island. So, you know, we're prepping it to go back to Catalina Island.
And this is still an active bomb.
Everything is still active. Even this thing right here towards your head, if you come upstairs, you'll see it. That is still active.
Oh!
We put it up there for safety and everything. And this ship is ran by steam. Most people think it's ran by electricity or some kind of motor, but it's ran by steam. And at one time, there were 7,009 people on this ship. 7,009. We refurbished all the ceiling and all that, and we painted the floor too. We painted the floor. We put all new fresh paint on the floor. And I painted the floor myself over here.
Oh, that is a nice breeze.
All these gauges and everything, even though the steering wheel is locked, if somebody was to unlock the steering wheel, the steering still works on here. And all the composite still works. Yes, and all these books has been here for many, many years. A lot of history and all these books that's been sitting here for many, many years.
She is definitely a well-loved ship, and I found myself falling in love with her myself more and more.
I think overall, it was the people that really made this for me. You know, just so many people with so much passion for the ship. And they know so much history and all that kind of thing. Like I said, I'd never been on any kind of ship before. No cruise ships, especially not like a World War II, you know, like army type ship at all.
They went out of their way to show us places that were like technically closed at the time.
Yeah.
But because they were so passionate about it, they insisted, and we were like, oh no, we don't have to go down there. They were like, oh well, okay. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
we could have gone down there, like to the engine room and such, and just on a technical note, to see how many things that were originally on board there, like when she first sailed, are still working, was just mind-blowing.
Yeah, just about everything is still, the original stuff is entirely like functional. Yeah, they have volunteers of all ages, so just for anyone out there, for you guys, like if you know, are into this or you wanted to see what it's about, I mean, they're very open, very welcoming.
Open 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. almost every day, and who knows, they might extend their hours for you because of their passion for their ship.
Well, also for what they told us, that they're trying to restore it so that it can actually sail again. So yeah, they're going to start doing the Catalina cruises that they used to do a long time ago again. That's what they're trying to do. So maybe sometime soon you guys can check out the ship and take a cruise on it actually, and like see how it is when it's, you know, actually traveling, which would be really cool. I mean, we'll come back for that, I think, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's only a year away, right?
Yeah, it's about a year away. They're trying to restore everything. All right, you ready? Your first meeting. So.
Yeah.
Psych.
This video is sponsored by Pacific Coast Sleep. Looking for a new mattress? Pacific Coast Sleep is a personable, privately owned business that delivers locally and ships around the US, offering a variety of bed types and brands, including MLILI, Maxim, Seahawk Design, Futon Pillow Design, and more. Mention my name, Matthew Richards, to get 50% off your purchase. Ask about free delivery. Links in the description below.